Hey everybody. Everybody will know about education and a lot of stuff. Well, today it's another series of Easy as Math. And today it's about number sequences. That's one number after another number to make a sequence. Well, today's episode, we're going to show you what kind of sequence and what kind of number you're going to check out. That's coming up today as we continue our Easy as Math series. Outside Bay Restaurant here in and it's in Roseland.
For almost 7 years, I was behind the internet microphone. The weekend host of the #1 sports show, Sportsman.
That's why it's called dance, my friend. He is raising family.
Since 2008, as a regular member of the Rockport.
And this season we're Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to another edition of Road Trip. I'm Ron Wadden. Thanks for kicking off another weekend with us here on Brooklyn's Breeze Beach 1 between 11:30 to midnight for Jennifer Day TV and Sci-Fi Ninja Theater. Today we'll continue our Easy Access Math series. And today we'll talk a little bit about number sequences. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But you know, education is always part. You know, back as a kid in the early 60s, or if you were born in the late 50s, as a baby boomer, we look back at some of the most important education programs. Take Sunrise Semester, for example. It's been the longest running educational show for 26 years. Check this out.
Since 1957, the TV morning educational show Sunrise Semester is produced in cooperation with the School of Education, Health, Nursing, and Arts Profession at New York University. Each show will give you a different topic, such as English 81.1.
You know, one of the happiest moments in Homer's Odyssey is the account of how Odysseus is reunited with his faithful son Telemachus in the hut of Eumaeus the swineherd. And Homer tells us the story of how the father and son go up to their home in Ithaca, find a rather difficult domestic problem involving suitors who are besieging the faithful Penelope. And they dispose of all of the suitors, and the Homeric poem ends in a moment of happiness and glory and achievement for Odysseus and his family.
And on Communication, the Invisible Environment, hosted by Professor Neil Postman.
Now, in the last program, I'm well aware that I made an outrageous statement about television commercials, in which I suggested right at the end of the program that there were certain connections between the functions of TV commercials and the traditional functions of poetry.
Sunrise Semester is aired throughout September to June, but during the summer, a show that will give you right in the middle and give you approve a lot more education each and every week. It's called Summer Semester, the same kind of educational series you have, and it's produced by the campus of Bergen County College in Paramus, New Jersey. And there's what they call Asian, the human race.
Last couple of programs, we found that while many Asians share common problems and similar aspirations, Asia does not form a single geographical unit. Instead, we found several different regions that make up the islands and continent that we call Asia: the Northeast, the Southeast, and the South.
Sunrise Semester ran for 26 years, starting from 1957 to 1983, and then canceled before it took over for the CBS Early Morning News. With more than 2,000 subjects and everywhere we learn, this show has been a staple to education.
And here's another thing you need to know. The show is locally produced from our CBS affiliate in New York, which is WCBS TV Channel 2. And it's also nationally CBS television station. That's what it's been on from 1957 to 1983. I with the CBS Morning News and later Family Channel. But later they took off the air and they put the and then you got some other CBS Morning News that had to work, Anyway, here's another thing you need to know. The same channel, the channel that's followed, is open. And we see 1927 to 1980. And based on it, it's a lot of granting police people. The channel syndication show was for a game television station called Which I Learned and produced lots of things you can know. And one other thing, the show is also on college credit program. Even in the show, you watch GED, like the example you want to look at, so, like, they have used a college program to take you to know about and so let's get back to the real thing. College and the whole stage of today is going to show you this lesson.
Hi, Art Kurtz here, and this is another Easy Access Math video. Today, we have a lesson on sequences, or pattern recognition. Sequences are all about recognizing a pattern, and they come in different varieties like arithmetic, geometric, squares. Stay with us. We'll be right back to discuss some sequences and some methods of working with them.
Hi everybody, this is Alexander Privman, and I'm hosting a new show called Alexander Lab on Brooklyn Free Speech. Join me every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Alexander Lab on Brooklyn Free Speech Channel 2.
Because of camp, I learned to make lasting friendships with people I still keep in touch with today.
Because of camp, I learned about self-esteem.
Because of camp, I play guitar.
Because of camp, I am sending my kids to camp this summer.
I learned that I was the best Tarzan yeller in the camp.
Because of camp, I got a personality. Now I'm...
Because of camp, I turned out just fine.
This is Eli Manning on behalf of the American Red Cross. You can help the victims of thousands of disasters across the country each year. Disasters like the recent hurricanes. Please make a financial gift to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. This fund enables the Red Cross to provide shelter, food, counseling, and other assistance to the victims of disasters. To make a contribution, call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org. Thank you for your support.
We're back, and I want to talk about some number sequences. For one, we have the arithmetic sequence. Take a look at the first three numbers, 3, 9, 15. In the arithmetic sequence, we are adding the same number every time, and that's called the difference. Over here, can you see the difference? Well, of course you can. It's 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. plus 6 is 15. And I'll complete the next few numbers in the sequence. 15 plus 6 is 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. And add 6 more to 27. And we have 33. Next, we start with the same 3 numbers, but the sequence is geometric. In the geometric sequence, we multiply. That's called the ratio. Now, it may also be division if the ratio is less than 1. In this case, it's multiplication. 3 times what is 9? When numbers are right next to each other, you could see what the difference in arithmetic and ratios are. Sometimes they're not, you would have to work it backwards. But here we could see that the multiplier, the ratio, is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. 27 times 3 is 81. 81 times 3 is 243. And you keep on multiplying by 3 for that sequence. Here we have the sequence of squares, right here in green. These are your perfect square numbers, and it's a set sequence. 1, 4, 9. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. So you could recognize the sequence of square numbers. Cube numbers, it's the number times itself, and again times that same number. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. And 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. And so on, it continues. Triangular numbers are quite interesting. In the triangular sequence, you're adding one more number to each space than you did before. And it's called triangular because they actually make a triangle. Notice the first number here is 1. Then we add 2 to that 1, and I have 3. If I add 3 to the 3, I end up with 6. Kind of make a bowling pin design or a triangle. And if I add 1 more than the 3, now I'm going to add 4, I have 10. To this, add that to the 6. Now I'm going to add 5. I'm always going up 1 more to the 10, and I have 15. And I'm going to add 1 more than that 5 to the next one. I'm going to add 6 to the 15, and I have 21. And that's your triangular numbers. Now, this is a mystery sequence, and if you're a New Yorker, you might recognize these numbers. Remember, sequences are all about number recognition and pattern recognition. They're not always mathematical. Keep that in mind. See if you recognize this sequence: 4, 14, 34, 42. And see if you could determine what the next 2 numbers are. You know what? I'll give you the next number. Think about it. I'll put it down. It's 59. See if that gives it away. We'll be back with the answer to this sequence and more mathematical sequences right after this pause. So stay with us on Easy Access Math.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm calling a friend to tell me that the game show Block Party is now on in that neighborhood now. Really? Wow,
I didn't know that.
Share that with friends and tell a friend that the Game Show Anthology Series by Game Show fans for Game Show fans now seen in Manhattan. Tell a friend.
Wendell.
Correction, dude. You broke. I just threw the ball.
This is really bad. What are we gonna do?
We?
Go to the door, ask for the ball back. Are you serious? It's my ball, Myrtleback. You're so dead.
I'd run away.
Yeah, to Uruguay.
Kiss your life goodbye. Sorry.
Let's go.
Dad.
See ya, dude. See ya. Remember me and you're well.
Nice one. Some friends you are.
Keep smiling, keep shining.
Hi. Tell him it was an accident. And we can fix the window. Come on. I'll come with you.
Loyalty. Pass it on.
You go first.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Back, did you figure out our mystery sequence? I'll give you the next number. It may surprise you. It's 125. Remember, I said if you're a New Yorker, you may recognize these numbers. Not mathematical. I know some of you may have been trying different adding or multiplying, but this sequence is the sequence of A-train stops. It's the stops in Manhattan on the Express A train. And it just shows you that a sequence could be just about anything. The Fibonacci sequence was created by Fibonacci, also known as Leonardo of Pisa, of the Leaning Tower fame. He lived between the years 1170 and 1240, so this sequence has been around for quite a while. Take a look. It starts 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. And do you see a pattern? The pattern of this sequence forms its rule, and once you know it, you could carry the sequence on forever. If you notice, each time the last two numbers in the sequence, like 1 and 1, get me the next number. So 1 plus 1 is 2. If I add up the next two numbers, the 1 and the 2, I get the next number, 3. 2 and 3, well, that adds up to give me 5. So what do you think the next number in the sequence will be? Well, if you add up the last two numbers, the 3 and the 5, you get the next number, 8. And then if you continue, add up the 5 and the 8, you get 13. And if you add up the 8 and the 13, you get 21. And that keeps going and going that way. Now let's say you don't have consecutive numbers, but you know it's the Fibonacci sequence. Here I have 55 blank, 144 blank, and 377. What I need to do, since I know the 55 and this number missing add up to 144, I need to subtract, do the opposite, work it backwards. 144 take away 55 would give me that middle number, and that middle number is 89. 144 take away 55 is 89. Once I figure that out, then I can just add the next two, and that will give me the 233. You also could have figured this one out by subtracting the 144 from the 377. You would have ended up with the 233. So that's a way to figure it out if you don't have consecutive numbers and you have gaps between. That's the Fibonacci sequence. When we come back, we're going to do some math work with some sequence, see how you can figure out some really large terms in the sequence and sum those terms. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more number sequences on Easy Access Math.
Growing up in a tough neighborhood is something I know a little about. It's not easy and you've got to rise up and stand out. Right now, fewer than 1 in 10 low-income students can expect to earn a bachelor's degree. With odds like that, a better life seems pretty hard to come by. America needs a stronger education system, and the time is now for bold reform. We owe the next generation a brighter future. Motivate, educate, elevate, get schooled.
I am a total nerd. I'm a nerd.
I am a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
I'm a total nerd.
I've always been a nerd, and I will always continue to be a nerd.
I'm a nerd for dinosaurs. It's the T-Rex.
Wrestling.
I'm a nerd about unicycling.
Playing the accordion.
I'm totally nerdy about yoga. You know how planking was a thing? I decided to try and make bird of paradising a thing.
Irish tap dancing, river dancing.
I'm a nerd for comic books, but not like the cool comic books that everybody loves now. I like corny, silly comic books.
I'm a nerd for basketball. You can find me at home yelling at the TV, not caring what anyone thinks.
Deep down, we're all nerds.
And when nerds unite,
we can do anything.
So stand with us.
So stand with us.
What are you a nerd for? Tell us at facebook.com/Wonka.
And stomp out bullying.
Our last lesson on sequences today is finding the nth term of a sequence and then finding the sum of those terms. And so, to practice, we're going to start with this sequence, 7, 13, 19, and it keeps going. And do you see the difference? The difference, of course, is 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 6 is 9. 6 is the difference, and it would keep going. Let's practice with, let's say, looking for the first 8 terms, the 8th term of the sequence, and then let's get the sum of the first 8 terms. Well, of course, I could do that easily by just carrying out the sequence. If I want 8 terms, I just go 19 plus 6 is 25 plus 6. Which we know is the difference, is 31. Plus 6 is 37. Plus 6, 43. Plus 6 more, 49. Just keep on adding 6 each time. And so I know that my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th term is 49. And if I wanted to get the sum of those terms, I would just have to add up all of these numbers. Not too many, so I could probably do that in a short period of time. But we do have formulas if we need to find higher terms and sums of that sequence. So let me introduce you to the 2 formulas in question. To find the term, for example, the 8th term, the formula would be T1 plus n minus 1 times D. And I have a handy legend over here. T1 is the first term. Now, in orange, I put an alternate. You could use F for first term. Same sequence, just different letters, whatever helps you remember them better. And Tn, when we get to the sum sequence, is the term you're looking for in this case. It's the answer to the term formula, 49. You could also call that L, or last term. Now remember, it's only the last term that you're looking for. Sequences keep going and going and going forever. But to make it short, and remember you could call it the last term, or Tn, which is the number position you're looking for. D is the difference. And in this case, the difference we see is 6. And n by itself, not Tn, not n all by itself, is the term position you're looking for. In this case, I said I want the 8th position, so n would be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 8th position. So n is 8. Now, to get the term, all you need to do is plug in the numbers into this formula. Remember, I said you could use F instead of T1 for first term. And when we get down here, you could use L, if that helps you remember the last term, which is Tn, the same thing. And I'm just going to now plug in the numbers. My first term is 7. And 8, take away 1 in the parentheses, because I said n is, I wanted the 8th term, times the difference, which is 6. And now I work that out using our order of operations, PEMDAS. And we have a good video on that you can check out, which gives me 7 for parentheses first. 7 times 6 is 42, times the 7 on the, adding the 7 on the outside actually, I have to put my plus signs in. So I'm adding the 7 on the outside, 7 plus 42 gives me 49. Always remember to carry down your formulas, make sure you have all your signs in check. There's my plus signs, and so that was 7 plus 42, 49. And you see, 49 was our answer. Now let's say I want the sum of the first 8 terms. I want to add up 7, 13, 19, 25, 31, 37, 43, and 49. I want to add all of those numbers up. Here's how you do that. What you do is you plug it into this formula, which is n, and in parentheses, t1 plus tn, which is the first term plus the last term, the term that you were looking for. That was the answer to your first formula when you wanted to find the 8th term. And you could also call it F plus L, first and last. These are the same thing. So I'm going to substitute. N is still 8, the term position I was looking for. T1 is the first term, which is 7, plus, make sure I have my signs correctly, the last term, which was 49, and it's always over 2. Do my parentheses first, order of operations. 7 plus 49 is 56. Have the 8 on the outside, over 2. And, you know, if you feel comfortable, you can cancel the 8 into the 2 and have 4 times 56, which would give me a total of 224. Now, if you added up all those numbers, you could try it, you will get 224. We'll be back in a minute because I want you to try, let's see, the 100th term of this sequence. Now, of course, we figured out pretty easy the 8th term. We just had to carry it out. So this, doing the formula is kind of like a check. But it would be a little cumbersome to write 100 terms down or 1,000 terms and then have to add all of those up. The first term plus the second term. So that's where these formulas come in handy. So let's try them with the 100th term. We'll get the 100th term and then the sum of the first 100 terms of this sequence. And we'll be back to work those out. So stay with us on Easy Access Math.
Hey everyone, Alexander Pertman here, and I'm here to promote my new show on Brooklyn Free Speech that I'm going to be hosting. Catch me every Friday at 2:30 p.m. called Alexander Lab on Brooklyn Free Speech, Channel 2, for all your life hacks, science experiments, and whatever you can imagine.
Hey, I'm Demi Lovato. Believe it or not, I was bullied in school. It hurt so bad I actually left school and was homeschooled. But not everyone has that choice. That's why I support Pacer's National Center for Bullying Prevention and its cool new website, teensagainstbullying.org. Let's all join the movement to end bullying. Bullying is never okay. 160,000 kids and teens stay home from school every day to avoid being bullied. No one deserves to be treated like that. And no one should have to miss school or feel bad about themselves because of it. So let's make a difference, because together we're powerful and we can change what's happening. Check out Pacer's bullying prevention websites to learn about how you can make a difference in your school or community. It's cool, so do it. And you can do it for National Bullying Prevention Awareness Week, October 4th through the 10th, by getting your school involved. The end of bullying begins with you, so join the movement.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Fred.
Rad! Hey pal, you want to pay attention to the road?
Relax, man, I got it.
Look, my man, if your bad driving gets me killed, you better hope you die too, or I will haunt you silly. And I'm not just gonna float over your bed like, woo! I'm gonna be making a more annoying noise, like, ah! And instead of wearing those long white robes, I think I'll wear something more form-fitting and upsetting. The other ghosts will look and be like, wow, we've never seen that before.
I hope you were able to work out this problem and get the 100th term and the sum of the first 100 terms. Now let's do it together. Let's see how we did. Remember, the formulas for the term, t plus n minus 1 times d, the difference, and to find the sum n, and in parentheses, t1 plus tn, the first and the last, over 2. Now, we can't get the sum before finding the last term, the 100th term. We need to do that first. So we will do the term formula for the 100th term. Now, it would be very cumbersome writing down 100 terms. You'd be going forever. So this is where the formulas come in really handy. So we have the first term, it's still 7. 7 plus, don't forget the plus sign. And we have the n minus 1, which is 100 minus 1, because n, the term position we're looking for now, is 100, times the difference, which is still 6 apart. And now we will work that out, order of operations. 100 minus 1 is 99. 7 plus 99 times 6, order of operations. We multiply first and we get 594 plus the 7 gives us a total 601. And that is our 100th term. B100 equals 601. We would be there all day if we actually wrote out 100 terms. And let's say we needed 1,000 terms. That's why we have the formula. Now, to get the sum, we will take the 100 term. That will be our Tn, our last term. And all the other symbols remain the same. Our n is still 100. And we make our parentheses, and we have the first term, which is 7. The last term, the Tn, the 100 term, 601. And we will divide that by 2. And that gives us, when I multiply that, 608, do my parentheses first, of course, and then multiply, which will give me 60,800. You could also cross cancel. Divided by 2, and that gives me an answer of 30,400. So the sum of the first 100 terms, when I add up 7 plus 13 plus 19 all the way to 601, would be 30,400. But it was easy with the formula. I hope you enjoyed our lesson on sequences, and I hope you check out our other videos at Easy Access Math on Facebook and YouTube. Remember, Easy Access Math, we try to make math a little easier for you. So check us out, and thank you for watching.
All right, there it is. I hope you learned a lot of number sequences today in Easy Access Math. And for more on Easy Access Math, show you today, and some other lessons, you have to do us a favor. Just go to our YouTube page and look up Easy Access Math. They give you all the math lessons that you see on our shows, and we're going to show you on the upcoming episodes of our program. Plus the show that we showed previously called The Penguin. Check it out on YouTube. Easy Access Math, that's where our kids is, and what. Well, this concludes this lesson on number sequences. And we'll be back again next week with an all-new episode of Road Kurtz. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook for past episodes of Road Kurtz. Also, you can check us out on YouTube and all the other pages. And just a reminder that don't forget to check out Art Kurtz and Film Manners 8 hours from now on our sister channel, Free Speech 2. And of course, Friday as well, 12:30 for Game Show Block Party, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and 12:30 Friday afternoon. And then 2 hours later on Friday, our man Alex Freeman hosts Alexander's Lab, 2:30 p.m. And another reminder, don't forget to check out the list of course. Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on WFCU. 89.1 FM HD2. Very top report and some more on upcoming Grand Awards coming up and maybe the Grammy Rapper. So check us out. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us again at her day eating and get sidelined to dinner. I'll see you again. Our heads together around the first one that dinner the big April Fool Show coming up on the 30th of March. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be great. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining us. For everybody's been a part of today's show. I am Ron London. Thanks for making a great Friday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's a fade. Good night. Bye-bye. And
This is a Ron Rondon video production in association with Art Kurtz and Phil Manners Television Productions.
This is Don Wilson saying good night.